A freezing night. A father with nothing but his little girl and a worn blanket. Beside him, a leather-clad biker collapses in the gutter. No one stops except the homeless man. The city didn't notice men like Michael Rowan anymore. Once he had a wife, a modest home, and a steady job fixing cars. But after his wife's sudden illness and mounting hospital bills, life spun out of control. She passed within a year, and grief hollowed him out. Unable to pay rent, Michael and his 8-year-old daughter, Emily, found themselves living in shelters, sometimes under bridges. Every night, Michael whispered promises that things would get better. Emily's small hand always clutched his arm in trust. He worked odd jobs, collected bottles, even skipped meals to save for her. Still, Michael carried himself with quiet dignity. His back straight, his daughter fed first. Michael's mornings always began the same. Waking Emily before dawn, walking her to school. He made sure no one suspected she was homeless. He cleaned her clothes in public restrooms. Emily never complained. After school, Michael would scour construction sites for scrap metal, trade them for coins, then buy Emily her favorite apple slices. Nights were the hardest. The cold crept in, and Emily often shivered against him. Still, Michael whispered stories about knights and bravery. For Emily, he was still her hero. On one bitter evening, a group of leather-clad bikers stormed into a corner bar near the alley Michael called home. Among them was Marcus, Razor, Kane, tall and broad with a reputation that sent ripples of fear across the city. That night, Razor staggered from the bar, clearly intoxicated, before stumbling and collapsing into the gutter. His head struck the curb, leaving him bleeding and unconscious. Passers-by averted their eyes. Cars rolled past. Michael froze at first, clutching Emily close. He knew the danger. Yet, as Razor's breath rattled, Michael made a choice. He pulled Emily aside, whispering, "Stay here, sweetheart. Daddy will be right back." He rushed to the biker. Kneeling in the grime, he lifted Razor's head gently. "Stay with me, man," Michael urged. A woman shook her head, saying, "He's a Hell's Angel. Best to leave him." But Michael refused. "He's a human being," he snapped. Minutes later, paramedics arrived. As the ambulance sped away, Michael returned to Emily. She asked, "Daddy, will he be okay?" Michael kissed her forehead. "I hope so, baby. We did the right thing." The next morning, the low growl of engines rolled into the neighborhood. Dozens of Harley-Davidsons thundered in formation. Michael stiffened, pulling Emily behind him. Had they come for revenge? Then from behind the line of motorcycles emerged Marcus Razor, Kane himself, head bandaged. He looked directly at Michael. Razor walked forward slowly. "You the one who pulled me out of the gutter last night?" Michael nodded. "Yeah, I wasn't going to leave you there." Razor's jaw clenched. Then he removed his leather vest and draped it over Michael's shoulders. "You saved my life when no one else would. That makes you family." Behind him, nearly 300 bikers roared their approval. Razor stepped closer. "Most folks would have walked away. You didn't." Michael swallowed hard. I couldn't let a man die in the street. My little girl was watching. I needed her to know compassion matters." Razor nodded. "You taught me something last night." He turned to his brothers. "This man ain't invisible anymore. He's one of us." The bikers surrounded Michael and Emily with protection. Razor crouched eye level with Michael. "Where you staying?" Michael's silence said enough. "That ain't right," Razor muttered. Within minutes, riders formed a convoy. They arrived at a biker-owned garage. Inside, long tables lined with food waited. Emily's face lit up. Razor leaned in. "You didn't just save me, you saved my dignity. You carried me when I couldn't stand." Michael shook his head. "I didn't do it for thanks. I did it for my daughter." That night, Michael and Emily slept on mattresses inside the garage's loft. Emily whispered, "Daddy, it feels like home." In the morning, Michael found a brand new denim jacket laid beside him. On the back, embroidered words read, "Brotherhood isn't blood." Emily had her own tiny pink vest stitched with wings. Word spread fast. Shopkeepers who once ignored Michael now greeted him nervously. Emily looked up at him, whispering, "Daddy, people see us now." Michael smiled softly. "That's all I ever wanted, baby, for the world to see you." With the biker's help, Michael secured a small apartment. It wasn't grand, but to Emily, it was a castle. That night, they ate spaghetti together on the floor. Later, Razor and bikers visited, carrying a brand new bed for Emily. She squealed, bouncing onto the mattress. Michael clasped Razor's hand. I don't know how to thank you. Razor shook his head. You already did, brother. Years later, Michael sat outside his apartment fixing a bike engine with Emily, now a teenager. Razor, older and grayer, watched proudly. Emily leaned her head on her father's shoulder. Daddy, you really are a knight. Michael smiled softly. No, sweetheart. Just a man who didn't walk away. Razor revved his engine, and 300 motorcycles answered in thunder. Michael had lost everything once, but by saving one life, he found family, dignity, and hope. Michael Rowan was no longer invisible. He was unbreakable,